Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stronghold podcast. We are coming at you from Singapore after another excellent night of fights. Actually, it's been an excellent 2 weeks of fights, man. The UFC the last 2 weeks has been firing on all cylinders. Last week, we had the amazing fight between Justin Gaethje, and that whole card was amazing. This week, Jake, wasn't it something like 8 out of 10 fights on this most recent fight card were finishes?
Yeah, I think everything in the main was a finish, and I didn't actually see any of the undercard.
Except for the main event.
Yeah,
the main event wasn't a finish, but maybe it should have been. That was a pretty brutal fight. But anyway, Jake, how you doing, dude?
Yeah, not bad. It's a shame we couldn't get to do last week, but we can go through those as well because there were some absolute bangers last week. And it was interesting that I think last week a lot of the fights went to decision, and then this week it didn't, but there were still all amazing fights. It's like pretty cool how that happened.
Yeah, the last two cards have been just absolute banger. Yeah, I couldn't do it last week. Jake's wife got the old COVID booster. So we had to pull a mulligan.
Yeah, she was not overly well from that.
Yeah, and not many people are. I hear a lot of people are having a stronger reaction to the booster, even more than the first two jabs. So, but the podcast before that was great. We had a really good showing on that last podcast, over 2,000 views, which for a fucking random ass MMA podcast in Singapore is not too shabby. We'll take that, and then the technique video that we did breaking down Islam's finish also did really good. So thank you all for supporting it and watching those videos. We appreciate that. Anytime we get those views up into the thousands, it's really excellent. So hopefully this one does well too, because these fights were really good. We had a couple solid weeks of fights, and there's actually a technique I want to break down in the Holloway Yahya Rodriguez fight. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Where do you want to start, dude? You want to start with last week, or let's just start with today's?
Yeah, let's start with what's
last week's probably been broken down. Yeah, totally. So today we had Max Holloway versus Yahya Rodriguez in the main event. We can start with that. You know, dude, but the first thing that surprised me, did you see the odds on this fight?
Wasn't it that Holloway was
like minus 600 favorite or something like that? It was absolutely crazy. I mean, I know that Holloway's a favorite, but like that's 5-1 or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you can see Yahya was right there, man. Okay, let me ask you this: if that was a 3-round fight, would you have had Yahya up?
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't in a 3-round fight. I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd have got the decision and won it. Put it that way. I'm not 100% sure who'd have got it in a 3-rounder.
Can you check what the scores were real quick before we break it down? Because I'm pretty sure, I think 2 out of the 3 judges gave Yahya 2 rounds. So I think there was one 49-46 for Holloway, and then I think there was 2 48-47s for Holloway, which would have meant if that was a 3-rounder, Yahya may have won, which is crazy. But also, like, dude, you don't want to fight Max Holloway over 5 rounds.
He's something like his last 5 fights have all gone 5 rounds. That's insane.
Yeah, but the pace he puts on in this, and it's funny because, you know, he's not quote unquote finishing people. He's just beating the shit out of them, right? He just beats the shit out of them, and he builds momentum. But I'll tell you what, the first 2 rounds, those calf kicks had me nervous. He kicked him in the calf. I've never seen anybody absorb so many calf kicks without losing their balance, without that calf numbing up, the foot dying, you know, without hitting that nerve that's going down the side of the leg. I think Yahya Rodriguez is probably the best kicker in the UFC.
Oh, he was absolutely nailing him as well, and not just with the calf. He was getting him from all angles. Like he's deep kicking him constantly to the body, like from all over the place. Yo, that's impressive.
Front kicks, round kicks, calf kicks, leg kicks, heel kicks, jumping kicks. He caught him with a crazy like up elbow. He almost hit him with that back elbow again. He's damn dynamic. What a dumb decision. Remember like a couple years ago when the UFC was thinking about cutting him?
Yeah.
Because he, I guess, didn't want to fight Zabit or whatever the hell it was back then. Could you imagine if they had made the mistake and cut this guy? He's one of the most exciting fighters in the entire roster. Tough as hell.
Yeah, I think one would have definitely taken him.
Yeah, Bellator would have anybody would have taken him. He's damn exciting, super dynamic, and crazy to watch. And if this was, over 3 rounds, Yahya can probably beat almost anybody in that division. But, you know, he did have some typical Yahya moments in the fight, and you see his Achilles heel being exposed a little bit.
Soon as Holloway figured, actually, he can't grapple.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll just learn him for a bit then.
Which, if there's anything that we learned about in the Frankie Edgar fight,
it's that he can't grapple.
It's that he can, but he just does. It's not his strength.
He struggles once someone's on top of him. He struggles to get out. Like that's what you saw in the Edgar fight all that time ago. That he just couldn't get out from the bottom, and he actually did better at getting out today, but still not good enough.
Yeah, especially in that I mean, the thing with the kicks too, right? Is you live by the kicks, you die by the kicks. Once you start kicking so much, you timed it, got the takedown, boom.
Holloway hit the best time takedown I've ever seen in that fight. I think it was the third
round,
yeah,
I think.
something like that. And he just saw the kick come in and just launched himself into it. It's like a rugby tackle.
Yeah,
perfect.
And the thing is, when you kick, and I also thought it was a little bit of a tactical error on Holloway's part, or on Yahya's part, because he let the calf kick go later on. He sort of fell off of it and started swinging.
But I'm not surprised though. Did you see the state of his foot at the end?
No, I want you to show me that though. See if you can find that, Jake, because you sent me a message after the fight and told me that you saw something with Yahya's feet. I didn't see that because I was still working this morning. But and that's the thing with those kicks, man. Like if you kick that much, even if your shins are really conditioned, it hurts. It hurts. I can imagine how bad his feet were, and I think I saw him. He was in an ambulance or something like that, and I know if you kick that much, even if...
So, would you fancy throwing calf kicks with this?
Oh! If you're squeamish... Oh!
Yeah, if you're squeamish, we should have probably said look away before.
Oh, that is one of the most... Oh, keep it on there. Keep it on the screen. Oh, that is grotesque. If you are looking at this... That foot is disgusting. It looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like he climbed Mount Everest and he's got fucking he's got frostbite and they're going to have to sever his foot.
Yeah, if you're coming off Everest with that, you're not having a foot anymore.
And you know what the crazy thing was he was kicking the whole time. You know how painful it is? Listen, that didn't happen on the last kick.
No.
That happened early on. Who knows how many times he kicked after that. That is why accuracy and timing with kicking is more important than power. Because, dude, one check, one wrong spot, one time you kick the elbow, one time you kick the hip bone, that foot will blow up like a balloon, as Conor McGregor would say. My foot was a balloon. Dude, that was I did not know it was that bad.
Yeah, that's why I sent you the text message with me vomiting on it. It was disgusting. Like, when he showed it in the flesh, I was like, oh, Jesus.
Can you see if there's a picture of Holloway's calf? I'd be curious to see if there's one of those as well. Because his calf has got to be brutalized after that. You know, and going back to the strategy a little bit, there might not be, I'm just curious. Going back to the strategy a little bit, I mean, Yahya, the first 2 rounds looked great. And honestly, that's why you kick the calf, because it's much easier to take someone down off a body kick, right? Like Muay Thai fighters do it all the time. They're so used to catching kicks, tripping, dumping. But when you kick low to the calf, you can't really catch it. And if you catch it, it sets you up for body kicks and it sets you up for head kicks because you have to reach down if you're going to try to catch it. So I think Holloway got him with that takedown. I think it was in the third.
Yeah, the third.
And then Yahya mostly abandoned the calf kick. Now that I'm seeing his foot, you can probably imagine why. I didn't see Holloway checking many of them, though.
No, but like you say, like if you just catch one wrong on the elbow or something like that, then that can do the damage enough to make you stop throwing it.
It didn't stop him from throwing it, though. That was the thing. I mean, he was throwing even until the 5th round, he was throwing it. But that is the trade-off with those kicks, man. You can punch all day. You're in gloves. It's padded, although your knuckles can still get jacked up and swollen and everything like that. But when you kick, man, it is just brutal. Unless you like that Thai shin conditioning. I mean, look at that. Can you pull that up? If you're listening to this, do yourself a favor and Google Yahya Rodriguez's foot if you want to vomit all over yourself. Because can you make it big?
Yep. Wait.
Oh, man. Oh, it looks like he's going to have his toes amputated.
That is brutal.
And you know that could be like compartment syndrome as well too, because that blood has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Man, if you are listening to this, please take a look at that and just imagine the toughness on Yahya Rodriguez to keep kicking like that. That guy is tough. He is mean, and he's probably he's definitely the best kicker, but he's arguably the best striker in the division he outside of Max Holloway.
Yeah, he caught Holloway a few times as well with that up elbow that he throws, the one that he got Zombie with. Like, he caught Holloway with it. My God, Holloway's got a chin on him.
And how do you train that? How do you train for somebody that throws those kind of techniques? Right? I mean, wow. Listen, the fight was a banger. It was really good. Those first couple rounds, I was nervous. And then I'm looking at that betting line that was like minus 600 or whatever it was for Max Holloway. Like, how can you think he's going to... I mean, to be fair, he won, right?
Yeah.
So that they were right. But it was a close fight. I mean, it was 1 round difference there. If Yahya could have squeaked one of those last 3 rounds out, it would have been a different fight. he would have won because I'm pretty sure on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. I don't know if you were able to find that or not.
A second ago.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was 48-47.
So you got 149-46, yeah, 48-47, 48-47.
Right. So listen, that's how close Yair Rodriguez is.
Yeah.
He was 1 round away from beating the best featherweight of all time.
Well, and he was going for his Hail Mary at the end as well, and that's when Holloway was like, sod this, I'm just going to take him down and lay on top of him for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Can't elbow me there, mate.
And even that 5th round was really close.
Yeah.
So listen, Yair is right there. He's right on the cusp. He's super exciting. I don't know what they're going to do with him next. Can we pull up the featherweight top 10 there?
Yeah.
But the fight was excellent. If you haven't seen it, go and watch that fight if you want to see some of the best striking in the UFC. But Max Holloway just puts a pace on people and his chin. Whose chin is more legendary than Max Holloway? Has he ever been dropped?
No, he's never been knocked out. Well, dropped, yeah, but I don't think he's ever been knocked out.
Who dropped him?
Did Volkanovski not get him?
I don't think he dropped him. I don't think he dropped him, no. And here's the thing. Like, if you look at Holloway's last 5 or 6 opponents, okay, Poirier landed some shots on him. When he won the interim title over Holloway, when Poirier won it, he landed some shots. Then he fought Volkanovski a bunch of times. Before that, he fought Jose Aldo twice. Then he just fought Yair Rodriguez. If you look at Max Holloway's last 8 fights, it is ridiculous. Okay, it's like Jose Aldo, Volkanovski, Yair, Poirier. Like, come on, man. That is like, those 3 in particular, the Poirier, Volkanovski, and Aldo fights. I mean, those are 3 of the all-time Hall of Famer, all-time greats in a row. And he's still never been dropped in all this. Beat Aldo twice, obviously, but the Volkanovski fights were super close. I mean, what a legend Max Holloway is. Plus, is he the most fun and lovable fighter in the UFC ever?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Max Holloway? I've never met a single person.
I'll tell you who, Conor McGregor, for some unknown reason.
Oh, did you see this video of him walking?
Him coked out of his face, stalking a TV screen.
Yeah, can you pull that up? I'm asking you to pull up a lot of things here, but see if you. I just saw that only about 5 minutes ago. So if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, I'll have Jake pull up the video. But there's a video of like Conor McGregor, looking like he's drunk or he's on blow or he's on something. He's just puffing his chest out, walking across the TV when Max Holloway's not Bruce Buffer, what's the other guy's name? Richie Martinez?
Yeah.
When Richie Martinez is calling his name, like, bless Holloway, and it shows the face up, and Conor's just like walking across him like he's doing a stare down with him.
Weird.
It's pretty cringe, right?
It's just bizarre. I'll bring it up. Give me a sec. Just zoom in on it. I need it. Here we go.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is quite bizarre. So, if you're listening to this, Holloway's in the center, and Conor McGregor is like mean mugging his TV. He's just like, he's kind of doing like the Vince McMahon strut, you know what I mean? Walking in front of the TV. Conor McGregor ready for Max Holloway.
He's in the face. Bizarre.
I mean,
it's the sort of thing my 5-year-old son does.
Yeah, it's a weird move. It's a weird move. Plus, the fight doesn't even make sense.
No.
I mean, it would be a money fight, I guess, but it doesn't make sense for Conor to fight Max Holloway right now. They're in different divisions. It wouldn't get him anywhere in the lightweight division, really.
No. Holloway's like Holloway's very small for 55 as well.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird move. I feel like there's better fights for him. Plus, I think Holloway would win in a rematch. And then it's like, if Conor McGregor loses to Max Holloway, then basically 2 of his best wins are just going to get scratched.
Yeah, erased.
Because he beat Poirier early. He beat Holloway early. Those wins were some of his best in his career. If he fights Max Holloway now, when Max Holloway is fucking on fire, and he just broke his leg, lost twice to Poirier, if Max gets that one's back, it's really going to hurt Conor's legacy even more. Because it seems
the already burning boat that it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If I'm Conor, I would just do my best to hang on to that win.
Yeah.
Because even when he fought Max Holloway, first of all, Max Holloway was like 10 years old. It was like his 2nd or 3rd fight in the UFC.
Yep.
He was 21 or something like that. And then Conor just took him down. It's not like he beat him up. He didn't finish him on the feet. He just took him down.
Conor was looking impressive in that fight, and I think that's the fight he blew his knee out.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but like you say, he didn't finish him. So it's a strange one.
I think he thinks based on that first fight that it'll be like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be like that. I don't know if that's the move for Conor McGregor right now.
I know Conor's boxing, but Holloway's like MMA boxing. They're not the same thing. Like McGregor might beat him in a straight up boxing match. Yeah, fair enough. But MMA boxing is a completely different kettle of fish.
And if they fight, and specifically if they fight over 5 rounds, listen, dude, Conor might be able to win a round or two. In 3 rounds, I would lean more toward the likelihood of the possibility rather of Conor winning. Not saying that he would, but the possibility certainly is greater over 3 rounds. You give Max Holloway 5 rounds, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck outpacing that motherfucker. He's got the best pace in the history of the UFC. And even today, the pace that he put on Yahya with one leg, I don't know how he was able to walk on that calf. It started to look like it was a little limp and getting a little goofy there in the 4th and 5th round. But then Yahya didn't continue, and now I know why, because his foot looks like it's going to have to be amputated. He may never walk again. That was brutal. So, I mean, it seems like it'll be Holloway and Volkanovski again.
Yep.
I don't know how many times they can keep fighting each other. What if it's another close fight between the two of them?
I want them to fight again, though, because I still maintain that Holloway won the second fight.
I agree. Holloway won the second fight. But let's say they have another close fight, and whoever wins, like let's say it's Volkanovski that it wins a close fight. Let's say it's Holloway wins a close fight.
How
long are we just gonna keep doing this, right? I mean, they're clearly the best two in the division.
Yeah,
it's not even close. It would be similar to like Usman and Colby, right? Yeah. They're so close, and those two are so separate from the rest of the division that it seems like they could just keep doing it forever. But
yeah, you look at I'll bring it up now. If you look at who's below them,
let's take a look.
They are so you got. Oh wait. Volkanovski is the champion, Holloway, and then both of them have beat Ortega comfortably. Like, I'm not saying, Max clearly won today's fight against Yahya, and then it sort of, do you put anyone else in there against them? Like, I can't see it. So it's the only fight you can make in that division is Holloway-Volkanovski. And then if Holloway wins, you make Holloway-Volkanovski again. It's a bizarre one.
Yeah, and it doesn't really get... sorry, can you just go down a smidge? The only thing in there in the top 10 that's interesting for both of them is Giga.
Yeah.
Giga Chikadze. I don't think anybody else there is ready. I mean, we can do Yahya and Brian Ortega next, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be
for
good
like the third best in the division. I mean, but outside of that, Giga's the only one there that's really interesting that we haven't seen yet, because Volkanovski and Holloway collectively have cleared out the entire division.
Yeah, but I don't think Giga's not ready for that fight yet. I don't think, though.
Yeah, especially Volkanovski. I think Giga stands a better chance against Holloway just because Holloway's more of a pure striker.
Yeah.
Volkanovski can take him down, and Giga's obviously an amazing kickboxer, but Volk has one of the most well-rounded games. He will do what he needs to do to win, and he will go wherever he feels like he has the best chance. Holloway's just going to put a pace on you and beat your ass. Although, having said that, he did take the timely takedowns today, may have won in the fight.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because if it wasn't for that third round takedown and it wasn't for that takedown in the 5th, who knows how that would have gone. On the feet, they were damn close.
Yeah.
So, but a great showing. I don't want to take anything away from Yahya because he looked great. He's so much fun. It just seems weird. He's inconsistent. Was his first fight in 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess COVID and stuff. Who knows why? In this day and age, it's hard to say why, but, he doesn't fight often.
He's definitely not going to be fighting anytime soon with that foot either.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's the nastiest foot injury I've ever seen. But anyway, what a banger of a fight. Was that fight of the night?
Yeah, I think so.
Must have been.
He got the bonus because there was it cut to a video of him afterwards. And Max basically goes up to the ambulance. He's like, "Yay, 50 grand!"
Yeah, we both got 50 grand. And meanwhile, Yahya's like, "My foot!
Can I buy a new foot with that money?"
Yeah, exactly. So, good fight. We'll see what they decide to do with that. But absolute banger of a fight and banger of a card. Let's keep going down. I was able to catch most of the rest of the fights. Cause it was nice because every one of them was a finish. So it was like 1 and 2 rounds. So I was able to burn through them pretty quick. Ben Rothwell versus Jose De Lima. Did you catch this one?
Yeah, that was over quick.
This was a weird one though. What the fuck was Herb Dean doing?
Start. No, okay.
He literally got in, put hands on him, and then was like, "Nah, I'm good." And then he was like, "Wait, yeah, I'm done." It was a weird move. Ben Rothwell, 40 years old. The heavyweight's got those dinosaurs in it at the moment. Might be time for him to wrap it up, but it is what it is. It's a good finish for Jose De Lima.
It was weird because you couldn't actually tell how Rothwell's doing because it was over so quickly. You know what I mean? Like maybe he can come back from that and maybe he's good to go again. It's one of those fights that he just lost and you can't tell anything from it.
Yeah, I think it was fair for Herb to stop it when he did.
Yeah.
But having said that, after the moment, you could kind of tell Ben could still wrestle a little bit and was still trying to move. But it was a pretty. I mean, he hit him and his knees went, and you know what I mean. It was one of those things that I think the follow-up punches kind of woke him up a little bit. And once they separated, he got a few seconds But weird finish, kind of a mistake there on Herb's part to touch, and he keeps doing that. This is like the second or third time Herb Dean's like touch people and they think that they won, and then he's like, no. So and you could see him. He touched him. He knew it, and then he was going to let it go. And then the guy looked at him, and then he's like, yeah, you're right, you're right.
We better stop, haven't we?
So that was kind of a weird finish. But if you want, go watch it. It was a quick one.
Yep.
And let's burn through the rest that we got here.
Okay, did you see the Spencer?
I did not see this. I watched the first 2 rounds and I couldn't find the third round.
So my daughter likes to sit down and watch some women's MMA with me. She sat down and watched this bloodbath with me.
Oh, was it a bloodbath?
Oh my god, it was.
Oh man, I missed this one.
It was some of the best dirty boxing I've ever seen from Spencer. But it did finish in the third, but my God, it was just the first 2 rounds were her just pinning her against the cage and rocking her and slicing her open with elbows. And there's me sat with my 7-year-old daughter going, this isn't great parenting, is it?
Yeah. India's like, oh, what are we watching? Yeah, it's weird with the kids because you never know what will happen. I remember, I think I told this story on the podcast, but I was sitting at the gym, and the fights are on Sunday, right? And so depending on the timing of the fights, they're on Sunday in Singapore. And depending on the timing of the fights, usually, like, my wife is teaching the kids' classes, and rather than doing my job, I'm sitting at the desk watching the fights, as you do. And when Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman fought each other, and Uriah broke Weidman's leg.
Yeah.
One of my friends, the student that trains with me, he was sitting there with his son waiting for the next class. His younger son was in the first class, and his older son being like 9 years old, was sitting there watching him with his dad. And he sat there, and we all go, whoa! And he's watching it, and his 9-year-old child just saw his first shin break. And you're just like, oh! And he covers his eyes. He's like, no, look away. And he's like, oh my God! And you're just like, yeah. You know, because you can disassociate, especially children. You can't really relate the pain unless you felt it. You kind of imagine it like a Marvel movie or like an action movie. Like, kids can watch people fight in movies all the time, and they don't actually...
Yeah, no concept.
They have no concept of the grisly brutality or the pain that you're feeling or whatever. But once you see a leg snap, you can't unsee that. Like, you know, that's a tough one.
No, it was a brilliant display of dirty boxing, but she just absolutely sliced it to pieces.
Oh, I got to go back and watch this one. I think this is one for whatever reason I wasn't able to catch it. Okay.
He's quite a boring fight, to be honest, but it is because it is just her pinning up against the cage.
So it's pretty dominant for Felicia?
Yeah, completely.
Oh, okay, right on. Okay, cool. What's the next one here?
Chaos.
Oh, this was a good one too, man. This was a damn good fight. Did you catch this one?
Yeah.
Chaos Williams, man. This dude's got some power, and that Miguel Baeza guy, he's really good too.
Yep.
He had him all kinds of shit with the low kick. Chaos couldn't put any weight on that lead leg. And then you see Baeza, but you see what he did? He went him with another leg kick, stumbled him, threw another one right away, stayed in the pocket, and the Chaos landed that right hand on him and dropped him.
Yeah, he went to the well a few times too often.
Yeah, which is what happens with those low kicks if you fall in love with it too much.
Yep. But did you see... was it this one, the first round, where he went for the heel hook?
Yeah.
And it showed why heel hooks don't work in MMA.
Yes.
Because at first I thought, he might be on this. He might be all right. And then he turned the angle wrong and just started getting cracked in the face.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was in the outside Ashi. He's going for outside heel hook, right?
Yeah.
And for all of you heel hookers out there and you leg lockers, yeah, to Jake's point, you're absolutely right. And MMA is a different animal. If you commit 2 hands to someone's leg, trying to go for a knee bar, a heel hook, inside or outside, your face is very open for punches. You got a very punchable face when you put those 2 hands on the heel.
At first he was doing a really good job because he had the straight leg on him, so he was far enough away, and they thought, he's actually, this will work because he's not going to take any damage and he can work it. But then Chaos actually defended it well and made him move the position, and then he curled back in towards him and just started getting cracked and lit up.
Yeah, if they went through, I would like to watch it again. I only saw it the one time, but I'm pretty sure he was originally starting on an inside heel hook, and then I think through the transitions he ended up in the outside Ashi going for the outside heel hook. And the problem with that outside Ashi is that it gives you that back exposure, right? So I don't have the frame going across your body anymore, so my back is facing you. And if you're giving your back and you're trying, and plus the outside heel hook is so hard to finish, especially when people are slippery and you're getting punched. And so I'm kind of falling out of love with the outside heel hook generally. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Doesn't mean you can't get it. I'm not saying that, you fucking leg lock nerds. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's, generally speaking, more techniques that are more worth your time.
Yeah.
And if you're going to choose one, choose the inside heel hook rather than the outside heel hook.
But you can actually defend your face if you're doing it in MMA.
Yeah, that outside ashi, you don't have a frame against the body, so it gives you that back exposure. And if you know how to handle it, you know how to defend it. It's going to be real tough to finish, especially in MMA, and people are getting wise to it. That outside heel hook. So, but that was interesting. That was an interesting scramble. So if you're a leg locking fan, and if you're a leg locking MMA fan, go check out I think it was like the first or second round.
Round one, I think.
Yeah, and there was a good 1-2 minutes.
Yeah, he had a good minute and a bit to work it.
It was interesting. Yeah. And Baeza was staying busy. He was initially doing pretty well, but then by the end, he ate a few heavy ones, and then but the problem is too with that outside heel hook. There's no way to bail on it without giving up your back, right? So, like, once you're in it, you're kind of just in it.
Yep.
Because the only alternative is to lose the leg, and then your back is completely given. If you're in the cross ashi, there's still methods that I can bail on that position and come up on top, take sweep, and take your back.
Yeah.
Right? Because if I'm in the cross ashi, it exposes your opponent's back instead of exposing your own if they're going to try to turn and escape, which is generally the way that you defend it. So, interesting, though. So, for you leg-locking fans, go check that one out, and you can see a realistic leg lock exchange for MMA and then decide how much of your effort you want to spend on those heel hooks. I know that it's really trendy in Singapore right now, including myself. I also am deep into the leg lock game, but not in MMA. Not in MMA. I'll keep that for the no-gi specifically. Good fight, though. Real fun.
Yeah,
that one was competitive, too. They both had each other hurt. They both had each other in all kinds of shit. Like, Chaos's leg was hurt. Baeza was eating some punches, went for that heel hook, had a few submissions attempts. And both of those guys are real good prospects. So they're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. But damn, does Chaos Williams have some power, man.
Yeah,
doggy, he's got some power. Plus, his name is Chaos. How marketable of a name is that, dude?
No, Chaos Ox. What is it? The Ox Fighter.
The Ox Fighter.
A brilliant name.
I still don't know what it means. What does the Ox Fighter mean? Oh, did we have this conversation before?
Yeah, we've done this before and got nowhere. Fights oxes, obviously.
Exactly. Okay. And yes, next person who I want to talk about. Also, please remind me, we got to talk to your boy from Equilibrium.
Yang
and Mujik.
Yes.
Can you sort that out?
Yeah.
Send Yang a message, because I'd love to get him on and talk to him about Song and Mujik. We see if we can get them both on the podcast. Ideally at the same time. Right now we're stuck with this 2-packs thing. It would be nice if we can get them both. But so Song Yadong, listen, if you're a Chinese mixed martial arts fan, and especially after we saw Hamzat just run through Li Jingliang, then Song Yadong is the real deal. He's the truth. This guy, if there's anybody right now other than Zhang Weili who stands a chance of if there's any man
getting the gold, it's him.
It's him.
Yep.
It's him. He's 23 years old. He's already had like 8 fights in the UFC or something like that. And Yang, the owner of Equilibrium, has worked with Song. He managed him, I believe, back in the day. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah, he's done a lot with him, and he's been his translator and stuff like that, and coached him and things. So he knows
he's cornered him in the UFC. He's cornered him in the UFC and stuff like that. So if you want to hear a little bit about Zhang Weili and Song, go watch my podcast with Yang, the owner of Equilibrium. First of all, he's an awesome dude. We got drunk and talked some shit. It was really fun. And he told us some stories about Song that was really interesting. This guy is a beast. I mean, look what Cheeto Vera just did to Frankie Edgar. Didn't he beat Cheeto?
I'm just trying to bring it up now.
I'm pretty sure he has a win over Cheeto Vera. It was a close one, though. I feel like I remember thinking Cheeto won, and Song kind of got a bit of a robbery there. Not robbery, but it was, it was. I thought I had Cheeto winning, and I'm pretty sure they gave the decision to Song. And maybe you can pull up his record there. I'm actually quite curious to see his record anyway.
Here you go. Zoom in.
Yeah, so he did beat Cheeto. And Casey Kenny. That's a damn good win, man. Fuck, Song Yadong is so good.
And the Phillips fight from memory was like close.
Yeah, it was an awesome. So if you just stay there for a second, Jake. So if we look at, first of all, Cheeto Vera is going to be top 5 anytime now. Okay, he just knocked out Frankie Edgar with that front kick to the face, which we will get to, and where he looked like a fucking duck. after he ate that. He looked like, you know how girls make that face in photos? Make my picture big so everybody can see. Let me do my best Frankie.
There you go.
Do my Frankie Edgar face. Did you see that picture? That's
No,
fucking.
not
You haven't
seen
seen this?
I'll have to check it
Oh,
out.
can you do it now, please? Just so you can see the reference, and then I'm going to do my best to match this face. If you're listening to this, please go and look at the still image of Frankie Edgar getting front kicked by Cheeto Vera. I can't believe you haven't seen this. This is classic. Images, just, yeah. You might have to go front kick. Because he looks like a duck. He's got that duck face that chicks like to do on Instagram that does not look.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. I can't believe you haven't seen this.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
So look, zoom in all the way on that dude.
Let me bring that up.
Oh man. Look at look at his face, dude. Oh, that's a sad man's face right there. So if you're listening to this, do yourself a favor. If you want to see the saddest picture of Frankie Edgar of all time, look at him getting front kicked by Cheeto. I mean, he's sucking on them toes, man.
He doesn't look anything like Frankie Edgar.
I mean, you know
Bizarre.
how it is when you get those freeze frames,
Yeah.
but it's just that split second. But for a moment in time, that's what his face looked like. Isn't that crazy? And just to get back to the point of Song Yadong. So have they updated the rankings in this division yet? Because Song was 15 coming into this fight.
Still 15
But
according to this.
where's Cheeto at now?
11.
Is that the new ones?
Oh, you see the UFC ones, so it's on UFC.
This must have been updated already. This was updated after Frankie and Cheeto fought, in other
Yeah,
words.
it must
Okay,
be.
so what's he at now? He's at 9? 11. He's at 11.
Yeah.
Okay. He should probably be higher. And now if you don't mind, can you put that on the main screen?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Song coming in at 15. He's going to move up.
Yeah, he'll be up after today.
He's going to move up now. We got Cheeto at 11. So Song already beat Cheeto,
Yeah.
which shows you where he's at in the division. And he also beat Casey Kenny, who just went to a split decision with Dominic Cruz. So you can see already where he's at.
He should be
he's-
top 10, but like going in.
Yeah, I mean, you have the tip of the spear. You have like the top 5 guys. Song is right there. And he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a Chinese MMA fan, Song Yadong is the fucking truth. This guy is as legit as they come. And also, if you're a One Championship fan, he also has a win over the current One lightweight champion, as long as the board doesn't come over and overrule.
Change that.
Overrule. So, what's his name? Ok Rayun. So Ok Rayun just beat Christian Lee. I say, a little tongue-in-cheek. I thought Christian won. So did many people. But the point is Ok Rayun is the champion. Song has a win over him. He has a win over Cheeto. He's only 23 years old. He's already had like 9 fights in the UFC. Can you throw his record up one more time? Let's take a look and see what we got lower down here.
If you start going back, yeah.
Alatang Haley. So this is my boy Stephen Langdown. Fought him in 1. He has a win over him. He's also currently in the UFC. He's another Chinese prospect who Song beat, and just keep going up. Let's get to the more. There's Ok Rayun. TKO'd him in 1 minute and 20 seconds in the first round. That's your current One lightweight world champion. It's Song fucking crushed him. And we keep going up.
Start getting to when he gets in the UFC.
So he's got a couple cheeky losses there, decisions. And he's in the UFC here. All right, we keep going up. Okay, so Alexander Perez, that's a good win. Cody Stamann was a majority draw. Marlon Vera, and then we're in the modern stuff. So listen, this is the guy. This is the guy to keep your eye on. I just remember not really knowing much about Song when we did the podcast with Yang, and he kept being like, dude,
Bet on him.
trust
Bet on him.
me,
Yep.
Song, trust me, Song. And he was right.
Yeah.
And by the way, fucking what a legend that guy is. With Zhang Wei Li and Song Yadong.
Yep.
Come on, man. This dude's got the Chinese connection. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get Yang back on here and talk some more.
Give him a shoot.
I'd thoroughly enjoy having a few more beers with that dude. Plus, Mujig.
Yes.
Maybe arguably the top.
Singapore's most exciting BJJ
Yeah, he's
prospect at this time.
And we got some more competitions coming up, which we're going to get to. We're going to get to Lion City pretty soon. So if you're waiting for me to shut the fuck up about these fights and talk about Lion City, don't worry. It's coming, people. It's coming. All right. So Song Yadong, listen, this is the guy. This is the guy to keep your eye on. So if you're a fan of Chinese mixed martial arts and you're waiting for the one,
Or if
this is going to be the dude.
Yeah. Or if you're a fan of someone with an amazing right hand who just knocks people out with it.
Tough as shit,
Yeah.
young, 23 years old. Imagine him when he's 28.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, man, he's knocking on the door already. All right, let's round out this. Was that the main card?
Yeah.
That was the full. Can we go? There's a couple more bangers I just wanted to mention real quick, but can I see? Because there's some names there that I don't know if you can throw it up there on the main. Yeah, so we got Thiago Moises, who just lost to Joel Alvarez. Now, Thiago is this guy who just lost to Islam as well. And this guy, Joel Alvarez, just destroyed him. Just walked through Thiago Moises, 19-2. This guy could be a problem. Keep an eye on him. He beat him faster than Makhachev did. And he just struck, finished him. That Andrea Lee girl that beat Cynthia Calvillo, she looked really good too. Man, she was going to the body hard. She kept teeping her in the stomach, throwing switch kicks to the body. She got hurt in the body like 3 or 4 times in the second round. And then I think it was just in between rounds that she just stopped, or the corner stopped, or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what happened with the finish because my video just finished there and then that was the end of it because I definitely wasn't illegally streaming it. So, all right. And then we get down to Courtney Casey, Sean Woodson. This guy, Sean Woodson, he looked like he was about 9 feet tall in there. A new guy I hadn't heard of before, but looked really good. So many quick finishes. Yeah. It's hard to get a beat on where all these people stand, but damn good fights. I think we can finish that up right there because we pretty much talked about all the juicy stuff. But if you're looking for a night of finishes, go check out this card. You can watch the whole event in like half an hour.
Yeah.
Other than the Holloway Yahya Rodriguez fight. And okay, let's touch a little bit on last week's since we weren't able to do that.
Bring it up.
And we had some some comments to timestamp this shit. Did you see that? People were like, "Will you please timestamp this shit?" So that way we know how to get to whatever you're talking about. So I'm gonna look into that timestamping technology and see if we can figure that out.
Yeah. So main event was Usman Covington. I think Usman won it, but they're so close to one another.
Man, were they close?
Yeah.
If Usman hadn't dropped him in that second round, that might. Did you see if they gave him a 10-8 in that round?
No, but I can check.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that because I had Colby winning the last 2. You know what's crazy is like obviously and rightfully so, everybody's so high on Usman right now. But if you think they fought for 10 rounds, Colby probably won 4 of them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously he got finished in the first one, so you take that for what it is. But and he got dropped in the second one, so Usman's obviously got the power advantage. But I had Colby winning the last 2, and in the first fight I had him winning the first 3 or 3 of the 5, whatever it was. I had Colby up 3 rounds to 2 or 2. No, I had him 2-2 going into that 5th round in the first fight. So that means I would have given Colby 4 rounds out of the 10 that they fought. So I mean he's right there. What do we got? Were they 10-8s?
Card up. No 10-8 that I can see.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he drop him twice in that second round? So the score was what, 48-47 on all 3?
No, one was 49-46.
Okay.
But do you want me to bring it up?
Yeah, please. Oh, there you go. Yeah, excellent.
So 2 48-47s and then 1 49-46. So the 49-46 they gave Usman 4 of the 5.
Okay, so in the case of both fights, 2 of the 3 judges in both of the fights scored it the same way that I did.
Yeah.
Because in the first fight, I had a 2-2 going into the 5th, and in this fight, I had Colby winning the last 2. So, I mean, so he took 4 rounds from Usman in 10 rounds, which is damn. I mean, everybody's, Colby had a point. He talked about, like, why, they got Usman number 1 pound for pound. Why isn't Colby up there? You might have a case, man.
Yep.
Because, I mean, how Usman has just trashed everybody other than Colby Covington.
Yeah.
And I loved that Colby kind of broke kayfabe for a minute at the end of that fight. I wish they could get... Have you seen a translation into what he said afterward? Have you been able to find... Can you Google and see if we can get the best possible of what the mics picked up for Colby saying after they fought? Because I could tell that he said something like... Hey man, I'm just doing it for the money or something like that. I never could find exactly what he said. But he broke kayfabe for a minute there and was like, "Hey dude, come on, I'm doing this for you. Like, I'm doing this for me and you." And the reality is, Usman gets pay-per-view points. So the more money or the more shit Colby talks, the more money Usman makes. If more people buy, and let me tell you right now, more people bought that fight for Colby Covington talking shit than to watch Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Kamaru Usman because he's the champ, but the intriguing aspect of that was what Colby Covington brought to the table. They're not watching it to see Usman dominate people. They're watching it to either see Colby get shut the fuck up or to see Colby win and some crazy chaos ensue, which is why I was watching it, which is why you were watching it, which is why my wife was watching it. So listen, no matter what anybody says about Colby, and I know a lot of people hate his shtick, that motherfucker made Kamaru Usman a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he gave Kamaru Usman the fights that are going to define his legacy. And talk all the shit you want about Colby, you have to understand that this is a fucking gimmick.
Yeah, so according to this, his words were, it's all love for you, it's all about making money, nothing but love. And then Usman replied, respect.
Nice. Yeah, that was roughly what I heard. Which just goes to show you that, Colby's being the fucking Undertaker, okay? He's being The Rock.
Yep.
He's going in there, it's kayfabe. He's putting on an act, everybody. And some of you might say, yeah, but you don't need to do that. Yeah, but you don't need to do that. Yeah, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun. He's not really an asshole. Okay? He's not the Donald Trump loving MAGA, Brazil hating, you dogs, all that shit. I mean, he's just putting on a show. Can you go to, I don't know if you can access my Facebook on there. If you're on that computer, you should be able to. If you just log into Facebook or just go to Facebook and you go to my page, I'm sure you people have seen this, and I'm not going to belabor the point here, and you've probably heard it on Joe Rogan, and you've heard it, and you may have seen it other places, but Colby did an interview where he went and he explained exactly why he took on this persona, and I shared it. Yes, can you put that on the main? And then we'll just watch this for a second. Maybe you can go back to the beginning, and if we can throw the volume on.
3 fights ago, before I fought the number 2 guy in the world, this guy named Damian Maia in Brazil, they had told my manager, Dan Lambert, that they weren't going to re-sign me. They didn't like my style. They didn't like that I wasn't entertaining. And this is before I really started to become an entertainer and understand the entertainment aspect of this business. So before this fight, they told me no matter what happens, I was ranked number 6 in the world. We're not re-signing you. We don't like your character. We don't like your fighting style. And I'm getting paid $30,000 to go fight the number 2 guy in the world. Like, after you pay taxes and pay your coaches, you're really going to get like $5,000 or $10,000. So I go out there and I beat him up, leave him in a pool of his own blood in Sao Paulo, Brazil, his home city. And I shoot this promo on the Brazilians. And I say, hey, you guys are all a bunch of filthy animals, and in Brazil, you're a dump. But that promo goes so viral on the internet that the UFC's like, we have to keep him. We have to re-sign him because that promo is so big. So that's what saved my career, and that was the turning point in my career, and the rest has been history.
Okay, so listen. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? Listen, this is a fucking dog-eat-dog, cutthroat fucking world of being a championship-level mixed martial artist fighting in the highest level in the UFC. And, we've already seen what Conor McGregor's done. We've already seen people have success with this tactic, and you can disagree with it, and you can hate him, and that's what he wants. That is what he's going for. And it brings attention to it. So even people commented on that post. They're like, oh, fuck Colby, fuck Colby, fuck Colby. And I'm like, first of all, you're just feeding the troll. And second of all, you have to understand what he's doing.
I love how he works out to the Kurt Angle music.
Yeah, you suck. And he's doing that on purpose. Do you know why? Because everybody that watches WWE, when they hear that music, they chant, you suck. And they've been doing it for 20 years every time Kurt Angle walks into the ring. Right? So it's all on purpose.
Perfect.
It's perfect. I fucking love it because I know what he's doing. Yeah. And first of all, the ball's on that guy to be willing to accept that level of hate just to entertain and to make a career. And then just to end on Colby, because I'm a Colby fan. Like, he's won me over. And at the very least, even if you don't like his personality, you got to respect that motherfucker.
But this is the thing that, like, if you're going to be that shit-talking bad guy, you've got to be able to back it up, or you just look an idiot. And he backs it up, even though he lost to Usman twice. Like, he didn't disgrace himself, and he definitely lost. I'm not saying he didn't, but it was close.
And did you ever see the video, the picture, and the paparazzi kind of ruined it of Colby running into Usman at the airport?
No.
See if you can. There's an image of it, or maybe a video. And, he didn't know anybody was there. He just walked up to Usman and started talking to him, right? Because he's not really, this was after the first fight. So, people think like, oh, they could never be in a room together. And there's a difference between the way like Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier hate each other and the way Colby and Usman do it. Because Colby's putting on an act. And Jon Jones and DC are not putting on a fucking act. So there's a picture or a video you can see of Colby running into Usman at an airport. And, they're just walking up and talking to each other. And then the cameras kind of spot them, and then Colby looks around and sees them, and then he kind of fucks off because he doesn't want the thing to be broke. But he was just going and trying to chat with him, right? One more thing on Colby. Jake, let me pick your brain on this. So Charmaine and I were having a conversation after this fight. Let's say we take the 3 biggest heels in the history of the UFC. Okay, let's say Colby Covington, Conor McGregor, and Jon Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not putting Sonnen in there?
Okay, yeah, you could throw Sonnen.
Yeah.
You could throw Sonnen in there, but it slightly dilutes my point.
I'm sorry.
to do so, because he's also putting on a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it doesn't dilute my point, and here's why. So let's say we look at Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, and Chael Sonnen and Colby. Okay, 4 the biggest shit talkers, the biggest heels in the world, or in the history of the UFC. Now, you have Jon Jones, who started off as a babyface, right? He started off as the Christian guy. Oh, everything was God.
Nike sponsorships.
Yeah, Nike sponsorships. Everything was God. Everything was God. And then the first taste you get of the real Jon Jones is the hot mic when he's on there with Cormier, when he thinks the camera's off and he goes, "Hey, pussy, you still there?" And he starts talking shit when when the cameras are gone, he thinks no one's listening. Then all of a sudden, then he hits the pregnant woman. Then he gets caught with all the crazy drinking and driving shit. Then he fucking gets caught on PEDs. Okay, now, one is fake. Like a fake person, right? He's a fake person. He's really a dick.
Yeah.
But he pretended to be this way. Now, let's contrast that with Conor McGregor, who grew up like poor, who grew up, like you could see when he was on the up and coming, people really loved him. You could tell he come from a working class background. He made himself. Later on, this motherfucker started to really buy into his own shit. He was different early on. He changed. The fame changed him. He sort of turned into this heel, and now he's this and you see him doing shit that's cringy, and he's punching the old man, and you see how fame changed him from being this like working class hero into this other thing. Okay? Now, we take and this fucking like talking shit about Dustin Poirier's wife and the Khabib shit and
being a very bad loser.
Talking shit about the religion and just doing stuff that's just not nice, right? But it turned him into that. And Chael Sonnen, same thing, PED abuser, but put it on a character. Now you look at Colby Covington. This motherfucker is clean. He's never failed a drug test. Everything that he's doing is a character. He's never once had an issue outside of fighting, ever. He's never ran over anybody. He's never got caught in any fucking drugs. He's never done anything, and by all accounts of people who deal with him directly, other than teammates who get pissed at him because of the shtick that he does, like directly, no one has ever had a bad thing to say about Colby Covington other than how he presents himself as the character. So Charmaine and I were talking, you know what? Colby Covington is my favorite because his is 100% a character.
Yeah.
All the other people showed their true colors. They pretended to be one thing or they were changed. Colby actually is only playing this character, whereas all the other people had their real character shown over time. Yes. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
Listen, man, I'm a fucking Colby fan. That's all I got to say. I love what he's doing for the sport. He's damn fun, damn interesting, and fuck all the haters.
Yeah,
fuck
but that's another division now that's in a weird place because Edwards was meant to fight Masvidal, but that's fallen through because then if Edwards would have won that, he'd have then been the title shot. But I don't know what they do in that division. I'll bring it up now.
Yeah, let's take a look.
It's a tough one. You got Usman at the top, Covington, but I don't know what they do.
Well, they're already talking about Hamzat fighting Gilbert.
Yeah.
And they're already also talking about Hamzat fighting Bilal Muhammad. I think that they would rather just get Gilbert. I mean, the upside for Hamzat compared to Gilbert Burns, like Gilbert Burns can be a sacrificial lamb to the Hamzat hype train.
Yep.
Like this guy is the hype machine. And if you could get him up there quicker, I think the UFC would happily sacrifice Gilbert Burns to the MMA gods,
yes.
assuming that Hamzat can get through him.
Yeah. Right.
Which, listen, if he's gonna grapple Gilbert Burns, I mean, good luck with that shit. We'll see how that goes. We'll know if Hamzat gets through Gilbert Burns, Hamzat's the truth.
Yeah.
Right. We haven't seen him in that.
We've not seen him tested
at all.
Yeah.
We've not seen him hit.
He's so good right now.
We've not seen him hit ever. Like, I've been hit more today than Hamzat's been hit in his entire UFC career. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that's a damn interesting fight. And honestly, is it the only fight that can get Usman out of bed? Like, Wonder Boy and Hamzat are probably the only fights in the division that would be really interesting for Kamaru Usman. And by all accounts, Usman seems to be at the end of his career.
Yeah.
It seems to be everybody seems to be sending the vibes off that Usman wants like another big one or two,
and then done,
and then finish as the second best welterweight of all time, not the first. You still got GSP. Listen, Usman might be more dominant in a shorter period of time, but GSP still has doubled Usman's title defenses. GSP has 9. Usman's now at 5, I believe, which is only one more than Woodley. And GSP had 2 title reigns, and he won the middleweight title. So everybody's sucking off Usman right now, saying he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. All right, you just need to settle down. Everybody just needs to settle down and take a break, let a little bit of historical distance spread before we start talking about him being the GOAT, because he would still need, in my opinion, 5 or 6 more title defenses.
Yeah, to get to GSP.
Yeah. And that doesn't even include winning the middleweight strap. So, but he is an animal. And he's rightfully so, I believe, the pound-for-pound number 1. But yeah, what do you do, man? You got Luque in there because he already beat Leon Edwards. He beat Gilbert Burns. He beat, can you throw the Colby twice? So everybody that's below him, he beat. Has he fought Luque yet?
Don't think so.
Okay, so Luque would be interesting. Stephen Thompson could be interesting, but Stephen Thompson's almost 40 years old. So really, the only interesting fight there is Khamzat and maybe Stephen Thompson.
But you can't jump Khamzat up that far. Like, you can't just go, I'll have a title shot then. And I'm not convinced, like...
But if they give him Burns, and Burns is free, and Burns asked for it.
Yeah, give him Burns. Yeah, give Khamzat Burns.
He's number 1. If he gets through Gilbert Burns, he's a title shot, for sure. He definitely needs 1, maybe 2 more. He could fight Bilal Muhammad and then have 1 more. I still think the fight with Chiesa would be interesting. Both grapplers. But, yeah, I mean, Khamzat has to be 1 fight away depending on how high they want to bump him up the rankings.
Well, if they bump him in against the top 5 guy, then it's title shot next. Or do they put him in like someone between 5 and 10 and then give him a top 5 and then a title shot?
I mean, remember when we talked about this last time, but remember when he was supposed to fight Leon Edwards?
Yeah.
That would have told us a lot, huh? That would have told us a lot. That was the one that got away. If we had that one originally, first of all, because if Leon wins, the hype train's derailed, boom, there's your fight with Usman. And if Khamzat wins... Poor Leon.
Leon's had the worst time of it.
As a Brit, I'm just, you know what I mean?
He's my boy sort of thing. He's a Brit, and I just want him to get that title shot that he's earned, but he just has no luck at all whatsoever. COVID, like people pulling out of fights. It's just a nightmare for him.
And 0 marketability for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the people just don't want to see him fight anybody. Like, Nate Diaz landed 1 punch on him, and it's like Nate Diaz won the fight. Like, Leon Edwards pieced him up for like 23 and a half minutes. Nate Diaz lands 1 punch, and everybody forgets about Leon Edwards. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about him, but for whatever reason, he just can't seem to connect with the people. But, he's definitely earned it. He's definitely up there. We'll see. But the Khamzat, he's a hype train that is interesting. All right, let's hit.
So then, Rose... obviously beat Zhang Weili, so that's their trilogy fight out the window because Rose has beaten her twice now.
Yeah,
and in 2 very different ways as well. A first round knockout and then over the course of 5 rounds. So don't want to see that again.
Yeah, I don't want to see it again either. But Weili's still right there. That was a damn close fight. If Rose hadn't got that takedown in the 5th, I mean, it was the same thing. It was only 1 round split, right? 1 round.
Yeah, I'll have to bring up the card.
I'm pretty sure it was 48-47 for Rose for most of the round. I think it was the same thing. Like 2 of the judges were 48-47, and then 1 of the judges was like 49-46 or something like that. But each round was close except for the 5th.
Yeah.
And then Rose came on and won that 5th round. But, Weili's right there. She could still, if Rose loses the title or anything else happens, they can slide her in there anywhere.
Is it another one, though, where if I just bring up that division's rankings, like those 2 are so far above everyone else in that division that I don't know what you do. Like,
where's Joanna? Did they just remove her from the rankings because she's been inactive? Yeah, they must have just removed her for inactivity. Okay, so we got Weili, and then of course Joanna's probably there under Weili, but she's not in the rankings because I think she's been inactive since the fight with Weili last time. So it's been a year or whatever, so they've removed her from the rankings, but she's right there.
Like, to give you an idea, though, Mackenzie Dern's 5, and she just lost her last fight.
To Marina.
Yeah.
Marina Rodriguez.
So I don't know what they do in that division either.
I mean, I feel like they have to do Carlos Barca,
just
because she beat Rose. She beat Rose on the Ultimate Fighter to win the show. So there's something there. Plus, Carla's look pretty good. Can you pull up her record and let's see? She's done pretty damn well. I think she's on a 4 or 5 fight win streak, and she does have that win over Rose. So they can market it like that. But Marina Rodriguez just beat Mackenzie Dern, so there's something there. But she's still below Carla in the rankings. So most likely they'll probably give it to Carla. But either way, it's not as interesting as Wei Li for sure. It's not as interesting as Joanna. Even though she did beat her, it's not quite as fun. So the strawweight division may be cooled off here for a little while. But, oh yeah, there we go. That's what's up. All right, let's see what we got here. So, yeah, Shang Jianan beat her. Yan Xiaonan. Marina Rodriguez beat her. Michelle Waterson, split decision. I mean, that's 3 solid wins. Alexa Grasso, that's 4 solid wins in a row, man.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she's on actually quite a win streak. So.
Yeah, she's there. She's there. Oh, Tatiana. Where's she at, man? Injured, right? Man, she's been injured for a minute. She's probably your champion, honestly, if she comes back.
Yeah.
I think she'd wrestle fuck that whole division. Her wrestling is so good. She was an Olympian. I mean, damn good wrestling. God, what did she do? I mean, look at that.
Yeah, not fought since 2019.
But look at those last 3 wins. I mean, those are Carla, Alexa Grasso, Nina Nunes. Now Nina, the artist formerly known as Nina Ansaroff. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Tatiana's right there. She's probably the number 1 if she actually can stay healthy.
Yeah.
But wrestling for 15 years will do that to your knees. I think she tore her ACL, and then she came back and was supposed to fight, and she had another injury. How old is she? Can you go back to Tatiana?
This might involve maths, so...
I should say there what her age is.
30.
she's
once you cross that 30 threshold, the injuries start mounting up. I'm living proof of that right now.
Especially when, yeah, me too, dude. I hurt my back doing curls the other day. Yes, I'll say that again. I hurt my back doing curls on Monday. I'm just like, oh, and I just turned 33 last week. So, Father Time, getting the gray in my beard, you know what I mean?
Glover Teixeira, just hold him up as an idol now.
The ageless wonder that is Glover Teixeira. Yeah, but you know, Tatiana's right there. That division could be interesting if Tatiana's in there. That shit's damn interesting. But yeah, great win for Rose. Good fight. It was close. You know, they're 1 and 2 in that division clearly. Let's get a move on here because we still haven't talked about the motherfucking Michael.
Should we just jump to
Chandler Gaethje? Yeah, because we got to get to some other shit too before we. And we're already.
So Gaethje Chandler, good fight.
Oh, doggy, that was a good fight. Fight of the year.
Could be. I possibly prefer Holloway's fight today. I don't know.
What was the other one? There was another one from a couple months. I have to go and look and see what the. Can you actually side point real quick? Can you pull up best fights of 20 whatever? I'd be curious to see what else they would have in there because for sure Chandler Gaethje was up there.
Yeah, definitely up there.
That first round, they both Gaethje or Chandler wobbled him a few times. They were low kicking the shit out of each other, and then the second round, Gaethje started finding that rear uppercut. Dropped Chandler.
Oh, and Volkanovski Ortega as well.
Oh yeah, that was a great fight. There was another really good fight on that card as well. So there's been some damn good fights this year. That's a good one. That's a good call too. That one made me damn near have a heart attack when Ortega had that guillotine in that triangle. I was having heart palpitations. It was so good. But I'll tell you what though, Chandler Gaethje. That's one of those fights that could not have been 5 rounds because it was like one of them would have died if that was 5 rounds. Like. Man, that was brutal. And at the end, in the 3rd round, Michael Chandler was just like, you know what? I'm literally just going to walk forward with my hands down.
Yep.
I'm going to walk straight forward, have my hands down, and just start winging bombs. You know, for everybody that talks shit about Michael Chandler when he came into the UFC, his 3 fights, I mean, he damn near beat Oliveira, 10-8, had him dead to rights. He damn near he knocked out Hooker, and then had Gaethje and all sorts of shit. Getting a little feedback here. You hear that? Okay, I think I got it. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, what a great fight. I thought Gaethje clearly won.
Yeah.
2 of the most violent dudes to ever do it. Now the question for me is, do you go with Islam or do you go with Gaethje for the fight against the winner of Oliveira and Poirier?
I think it depends who wins Oliveira Poirier, to be perfectly honest. Like, as stupid as that sounds.
No, it's fair.
Yeah.
Because Poirier already beat Gaethje. That's one thing.
So if Poirier wins, I think don't give him Gaethje, give him Islam. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Actually, did you see Khabib going back and forth with Gaethje on Twitter talking about this?
No.
Yeah, they've been having some back and forth because Gaethje says like, "Oh, I have to be next," and then Khabib chimed in and said, "Hey, you've been finished 3 times in your last 8 fights or whatever, and Islam is on an 8-fight win streak, 3 first-round finishes in a row." And then Gaethje's like, "Yeah, but who has he fought really?" Which is kind of true. I mean, Gaethje's last 5 fights are way harder than Islam's last 5 fights, no question. But Islam has been more dominant, and Gaethje's fights are definitely more entertaining. So, I mean, if you're gonna make the decision on what's the most entertaining fight, you throw Gaethje in there.
Yeah.
But if you want to see who,
do you want to see something new though as well?
Islam.
Yep.
And I honestly believe Islam also probably more marketability if you look at globally, because the Middle East, right? I mean, they love Khabib, they love Islam. He's so popular, and so is Gaethje. But he's gonna pop more globally.
Yeah.
I think than Gaethje would. But who knows? That division, dude. That lightweight division, as usual, is just a fucking shredder. And you still got Dariush in there, too. But yeah, good stuff. I mean, that fight's been talked to death, so I don't feel like we need to do it anymore. But if you haven't seen that, you got to go watch it. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't even know how they both survived. And then there was one more in between there, real quick. We just touch on Burgos and Billy Quarantillo. Yeah, that fight was also amazing, and it just completely overshadowed by the Gaethje. That's a fight of the night on any other fight card. And then they're basically just leftovers, the sloppy seconds for everybody after they're trying to gain their wits back after watching Chandler and Gaethje. And then we already discussed the duck face of Frankie Edgar and Chito Vera. So, all right, man, a good couple weeks of fights though. I mean, I feel like I need a fucking shot.
But it's all right,
talking about them.
Next week's card looks a bit of a snooze fest. So
what do we got next week? Oh yeah, no disrespect to Ketlin Vieira and Misha Tate, but if that's your main event, Michael Chiesa. Who the hell is Sean Brady? I mean, I know who Sean Brady is, but why is Chiesa fighting somebody unranked? Isn't he ranked like 6 or something like that? We were just looking at it. Hani Yahya has got to be 100 years old at this point. I mean, Hani Yahya is so old. Where's lightweight? Oh no, welterweight now. Chiesa's 6.
Yeah, 6.
Why the fuck is he fighting?
14.
Okay.
So it's a weird one.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'll watch it. Won't blow your hair back, but I feel like the MMA community can collectively take a breath next weekend.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just to recover from the last 2 weeks. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to worry about breaking that down. Maybe we'll talk about it, I'm sure, next week or whatever. But can we move on to the thing that I'm more interested in because it's local? Lion motherfucking City Championship next weekend. Your boy is doing the commentary along with the local stand-up, #1 stand-up in Singapore, Fuck Fuzz. He and I will be doing the commentary for these fights. And why don't you go ahead and throw that up as we're scrolling through it there, Jake?
Uh-huh.
And so all these fights have been announced already. If you're listening to this, do me a favor and go follow Lion City Championship. Okay, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook, because the fights are going to be totally free. You can all watch them. And if you're living in Singapore and you're listening to this, you should definitely watch them. This is the first time that local MMA is back in Singapore since the pandemic began.
Oh, this event has been put on and pulled off so many times. Thank God it's finally happening.
I mean, this was Alvin and I did a podcast about this. Like, must have been a year ago.
2 years ago. I reckon.
Talking about him doing this, and finally they're able to get it done because the restrictions seem to be loosening up enough that we're allowed to do it. But you can watch it for free on. I believe they'll post a link to it on the Instagram and the Facebook. It's all local guys. Actually, I can send you.
There's some in a.
I have a. Where's my phone? I can send you a list of the card because what I want to do is, I mean, you have it there, but I want to go specifically through the gyms that are going to be on there. Because if you're listening to this, you can see what all gyms are going to be taking part in the fights, and it's pretty much every gym in Singapore. It's every gym that you know, minus mine. Because, we're still pretty new here at Stronghold. We've only been open for a couple years. All right, I'm going to send you this, Jake, and then we can just go through the gyms and break down the guys. 1 second. All right, so basically, there are 9 fights, including a professional fight. Yeah, 1 pro and then 2. And then all the rest will be amateurs, including some alumni of the podcast. Your boy Kai Shong is fighting in the main event. Okay, Kai Shong has been on this podcast multiple times, along with his significant other, the wonderful and beastly Tiffany Teo.
Do you want me to throw it up?
Yeah, throw it up there. Let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so in the first fight, so we got Umarul fighting Jonathan Tan, so we got Juggernaut fighting Impact. So this is the thing. If you're listening to this and you're from Singapore, you're going to recognize all these gyms, okay? We got Juggernaut, we got Impact, Jun Matsumoto from Evolve MMA fighting Sonny Lowe from Maverick. Another 2 really, you're going to see a few Evolve fighters as well on this card. And you know what I love about this is that it's local. It's amateur. Because, one has still been putting on events and stuff like that, but it's mostly international people. And for people like us, me and Jake, living here in the scene, it's really, really nice to see like local fights, smaller guys that want to build up and take these fights. We got Biraj against Muhammad Faraz. Doesn't say the gyms there. Going down, Eugene Wee, another Evolve MMA fighter, fighting Vreddy from Empower Defense Solutions. Aaron Sim from Fortitude BJJ fighting Kenyon from UFC Gym. We got Aloysius Hung, who trains at Evolve MMA. There's a guy that I train that trains him and then knows him, so I'll be curious to see how he does. And then Sion Reading from Jungle MMA. Nigel Lum from Fortitude. We got Po Kai Sir from Synergy. My boy Shinya. Shinya must be coaching him. And then the co-main event, we got a guy from Evolve. Lim Zeng Tang fighting Glenn Lee. Glenn is the guy who fought on the Singapore Grappling Invitational.
Yeah.
He fought Kai Shong in the most recent one. And then Kai Shong from Matrix MMA, trained by Major Overall, who's probably been on this podcast more than anybody, fighting Muhammad Zadine, who's independent, fighting at 68 kg in a catchweight fight. And for all of those people who may be listening to this, I've sent you a questionnaire to answer because I want to get to know all these people, right? I'm doing the commentary, and a lot of these guys have only been training for a few years, and you know what the last couple of years in Singapore have been like. There's been no local competitions. We haven't got to see a lot of these people. So I'm trying to get to know everybody, asking them like what their fighting style is, how long they've been training, what system do they fight in, and some cheeky little predictions for the fight. And that way, when I'm doing the commentary, I can sort of create some narratives and tell the stories. Tell the stories. Because what I really want as a commentator is, first of all, to explain what I'm seeing, but also weave a narrative and allow people watching the fights to be able to relate and get to know these young competitors. What do you think, Jake? How are you feeling about this, dude?
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it, and I'm quite interested to see like the Evolve guys in that, because their fight team, they have a very nice set of facilities there, and I want to see how they're using it, as it were. See how the guys are doing from there, and see how they're doing against some of the smaller gyms. So it'd be sort of underdog cards if you're against an Evolve guy, I feel.
Well, they definitely have the most students. I mean, they've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students. Right? What are there, 3? Are there 3 Evolve guys fighting on the event?
Oh, I think there's more. 1,
Aloysius
2,
and
3, 4.
Eugene.
Yeah, so they got the biggest. They got 4 fighters on.
Yeah, but you're seeing a lot of other big hitters in Singapore as well, right? Juggernaut's on there, Impact's on there. We got Synergy, the UFC gym, Fortitude. I mean, these are some gyms that have been in Singapore for a long time. Jungle's in there. Of course, Matrix is in there. So, yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait. As much as I enjoy doing the Singapore Grappling Invitational, the grappling, I'm really, really, really excited for some MMA. I mean, I'm going to be losing my shit. It's going to be easy for me to be not biased because I don't know anybody really, except for Kai Shong. But I'll do my best to not be biased against any of them. So if you're fighting on that card, I sent you a questionnaire. Answer that for me. Give me some good details so I can blow you up, get this audience to know you a little bit better. And my second, Fuck a Fuzz, who's hilarious and a damn good presenter. He's really good on the mic. Looking forward to working with that dude again. And we're going to break that card down next week. Maybe we bring on the main event winner, whoever wins between Muhammad and Kai Shong.
Isn't that this bloody Rule of 2 is a nightmare.
The what?
We could have got several people from the card on, but we can't.
I know, that's the thing. Because Jake's already here.
Yeah, so we're allowed one more person.
That's it. So if I mentioned bringing you on the podcast before, I mean, this is the issue. Yeah. Right, is that I'm only allowed to have 2 people here. Jake is already 1, and it's tough. Like I wanted to get I wanted to get.
Well, we wanted to get Alvin on for a start.
Wanted to get Alvin. I spoke to Fuckafuzz too, but I mean, he's busy. He's got shit going on, and I wanted to get Oz. I wanted to get Oz on, the guy who won the thing, but the day we do it, he's not available. And same thing with Mujig and Yang. I want to get them on, but we can only have one other person. So, guys, just give me time. I want you all to come on the podcast. I want to blow you up as well, but it's tricky in these days when we're only allowed to have 2 visitors, and Jake, of course, is already one.
And I'm taking up a slot.
So we're already.
And Luke doesn't know how to press the button, so I have to be here.
Exactly. So there's no chance without us. All right. So, man, I think that will pretty much cover. Is there anything else?
No.
That pretty much covers it. Hey. All right. So if you're listening to this, please keep an eye on this Lion City thing. This is their first event. I can't stress enough, especially in these day and age, how important it is to support your local fighters. It's a scary thing. Many of these guys it's going to be their first time competing. A lot of them, I spoke to about half the fighters already and messaged them with those questions, trying to figure out a little bit of their story. And most of them have only been training for like 3 years, something around there. I mean, it's amateur. It makes sense. That's a good starting point. And
it can make for like very exciting fights though. When you've got these like beginner guys starting out who just go hell for leather on one another.
Yeah.
Oh, bring that on.
Oh, sometimes it looks pretty sloppy too. Hey, but they don't give a shit. You know what it is, man? It's the nerves. If you're the first time fighting, and for a lot of the people here, it's going to be their first time fighting. I'll tell you what, boys, if you're listening to this, you are in for something special, because the nerves that you get on your first fight are something you will never forget. It is going to be wild for you. You're gonna have to piss. You're gonna have to shit. Nerves are gonna be racked. You're probably gonna cut weight. You're gonna piss off your spouses and your girlfriends, and the doubts are gonna creep in. I'll tell you, example for me, my first fight, I literally thought climbing out the window and just leaving my family and never showing my face again was a reasonable solution to getting out of the fight. Okay, you get the fight or flight. Okay, 2 things. First of all, my first amateur fight, I didn't get that. You know why? Because I was young and stupid. I was naive enough and foolish enough to be like, it'll be fine. So I didn't get it. But after years more training and a few more fights, when I made my pro debut, then I was old enough and wise enough to know actually what I was getting into. And then that's when the nerves hit me harder than ever, because I actually understood what I was getting myself into, right? When you're like young, 18, 19, 20, like, oh, fight, fuck it, I'll fight anybody. I don't give a shit. That's the attitude that I had. So I wasn't scared because I was stupid. You know what I mean?
Too dumb to know.
Yes, exactly.
Fine.
I was too dumb to know. But by the time I had 4 amateur fights, but when I had my pro debut, then I knew what was up. And then the no shin pads, and then the gloves were small, and then I was in a foreign country, and then my opponent was fucking huge. Outweighed me by easily 7 or 8 kg. I mean, it was just fucking ridiculous. Did you ever pull up him on this podcast?
No.
Do me a favor, go to my Facebook. You want to see the motherfucker that I fought for my first pro debut? You can go to the Facebook, and if you go to my albums, it's called Cuff 3 or something like that. And this is the fight where I tore the ligament in the first 30 seconds of the fight. I tore my meniscus in my knee. I had no stability. And then thankfully, the doctor, cage side, stopped us in between the rounds because I couldn't put any weight on my leg. And had I continued, I probably would have been knocked out. Even though I dominated the round. He threw a low kick on me in the first minute. So it should be cuff. Yeah, you see that there?
Cuff there?
Yeah, that one. So this is my pro debut. And so you can click on a few of those, and you can see basically where the fight took place and throw that up on the main. So, there I was, a little thinner with hair. Look at that shit.
Check
Look,
it out.
I'm a fucking handsome bastard with some hair. Look at that shit. And then, this was basically the fight, right? I was just on top of this dude, ground and pounding him. I took him down about 30 seconds in, stayed on top the whole fight, and quick the next one over. But you can see how jacked this motherfucker is.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Oh, yeah, go to the face-off, and you can see... So go back, actually, if you don't mind. So this is me thinking, that window in the next room looks just big enough for me to crawl outside of it.
That does look the man thinking, I've not really thought this through.
Zoom in on that. Zoom in on my terrified face. I might be hiding it, but that is a face of a desperate man, desperate man right there. Okay, and then go to the face-off. Yeah. So that was me after. You can see the ice pack. That was from one punch in the guard. That was a 6-inch punch. Look at my elbow. Yeah, go back to that last one. Okay, so that's from me elbowing him.
Oh.
That looks like a fucking face hugger about to burst out of my elbow. And that literally, so he hit me 2 times.
Yeah.
One low kick, one punch from the bottom that had about 6 inches. And it tore my meniscus and blew my fucking eye socket. I got hit with 2 strikes. That's it. And that's what it looked like. And then if you keep going...
Face off.
So, I mean, I was on top the whole time, right? There's a takedown. But yeah. That's when I was like, I got to go down to featherweight. Zoom in on that so we can get a little bit of perspective. Look at that shit. This motherfucker, I don't know, Cleon, if you're out there, buddy. Oh, man. I mean, I was definitely technically better than him. I dominated the fight, but this motherfucker was huge.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, and then, so you can, I'm saying, in the back, I mean, I made the walk and I was shitting myself, but, you know, if you're a young fighter, I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be an emotional roller coaster. It's literally gladiator shit. Right, you're out there and you're fighting, and your health is at risk, and this is why it's serious, and this is why having a good coach is extremely important. Having somebody who's been there, who can properly prepare you, who knows the feelings that you're going to have, who knows when you're slacking off, who's going to be on your ass, and most importantly, who's going to give you the things that you need to get you there, and most importantly, get you there safely and get you there, because it is a very dangerous thing that oftentimes when you look at it, you really don't appreciate the level of danger until that motherfucker is staring across from you and there's people watching you and there's lights on and there's cameras on, and then you're like, oh God, please just don't let me shit myself out there. Like literally shit myself. It's like worst case scenario.
I've obviously never fought professionally sort of thing, but the closest I've come is that when I was a kid I used to play rugby to quite a reasonable level, and I remember we were in some cup competition and we were playing a team, like, because it's a cup competition, we were doing really, really well, and then we got through to a team a few divisions above us, and I just remember looking at them and, like, same thing. Every other game before that had been fine because it was people our level and stuff like that, and these guys were just, like, actual athletes compared to a bunch of dopey kids. And I just remember we're in the dressing room, I'm like, I saw them going in their dressing room, I know I'm not very big, I was like, oh, this might be a problem. And then we just heard this, like, war chant from their dressing room, and I just remember the same thing, thinking like, oh, I'm going to shit my pants, I need to get out of this.
Well, and then, you know, the thing with all of this is first of all, those nerves are gone once you actually start the fight. I mean, you've competed in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Which does give you a...
before a jiu-jitsu tournament, I'm like... It's
like whatever, right?
But yeah, it's just like, oh, well, I'm doing this because I want to do it and I'm here to have fun. Whereas if I compare that to how I felt before, like, some rugby games and stuff like that, because you can get badly hurt playing rugby.
Oh, yeah. Rugby's brutal.
Like,
it's because it's collision, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Like, I've got terrible concussions from it and, like, bad knees from it still to this day. And I compare the start of a, like, jiu-jitsu tournament before that. Jiu-jitsu, I'm like,
Jiu-jitsu's like a 3 on a scale of 10.
Yeah.
It's like a 3.
Yep.
MMA is a fucking 10.
Yeah.
Amateur's actually lesser. Amateur is a little bit lesser. You're wearing shin pads. You're wearing bigger gloves. They stop the fights earlier. They're not going to let you go out on your shield, right? Good referees, and I've been referees for amateur and professional fights. Okay, I've been ref, and I've been a judge, and a commentator, and a fighter. So I've seen the whole spectrum of it. I mean, the first time you're still going to get those nerves, but as you get more and more experience, it's, you know, I felt like that for my pro debut when I fought in Singapore last. Which, if anybody's listening to this and you want to watch it, you can find my fight on YouTube. That one I didn't have the same nerves. First of all, I was way more confident in my skill set. The weight class was much more reasonable, and I'd matured. It is a roller coaster. Like, you start off obliviously confident, right? Foolishly confident, and then you start to see a little bit of the truth, and then you're like, oh shit, and then you actually develop the skills that give you real confidence, not false confidence. When I did my pro debut, or when I did my amateur debut, I had false confidence. Foolish, young confidence, thinking that I could just do whatever. And then when I had my pro debut, I felt a little, I learned that it was foolish confidence. And my skill level, I was a purple belt. I had like 3 years of training. It was okay, but it wasn't where I should have been. And then when I had my last fight, I knew that I was good enough to do what I needed to do. I was confident I could compete with good people in every discipline. And that was genuine, real, earned confidence. So I really felt confident in that fight. So I went through the whole thing, and it remains to be seen where people are going to be on that spectrum. But I'll tell you what, boys, you're ready for a fucking trip. This is going to be a wild evening. And, you know what it is? It's a little injection of life. You know how you get the malaise of life, especially in you get in the routine. If you want something to fucking wake you up, that'll do it.
MMA fight.
That'll do it. That'll let you know you're alive real quick. Once fucking feet and hands start swinging by your face, whoo, that'll let you know you're alive. So everybody, I urge you to please tune in. This is it Saturday? Saturday or Sunday? I think it's Saturday.
Saturday, 21st, isn't it?
This Saturday at around is the timing on there? Jake, can you check so we can inform the people? I suspect it'll be sometime in like the early evening, 5, 6, something like that.
Just trying to bring it up now.
Let's see if we can get a timing for the listeners. Do me a favor and follow the social media. Follow the Lion City Championship Instagram and Facebook. They'll be sure to update you on the timing and when the event actually goes live. But it's going to be a damn good time, and these young fighters can definitely use all the support within the local community that's possible. And the Singapore martial arts community is extremely supportive. So please do your best to show up and help these fighters and give them all the support that they need.
Yeah, 20th. I got it wrong, not 21st.
It's Sunday. Is that Sunday?
Damn maths.
I have to be there, so I should know this.
I'll be there Saturday. Saturday the 20th.
So it is a Saturday. Okay, so stay tuned for Saturday, and I'm sure they'll all update you. And hopefully next week on the podcast we can get somebody on here. If not, then we will do our best to just break it down and have a good time. All right, everybody. This has been the Stronghold Podcast. Thank you all for watching and listening, and have a good day.